Powered Morning Show. We are here. We
Good
are ready.
morning.
We are excited because it's a brand new day. It's the
A brand
Winning
new day.
Wednesday.
It's
It is
tax
a
day.
Wake Up Win Wednesday. Get it together and get ready for it because I'm telling y'all, sometimes you just got to push through. Sometimes you wake up and
Mm,
you just like, baby, I can really roll back
Baby.
over because I don't want to face the day. But when you push through, God has already set something up for you to, go ahead and get it, get it going, even though it may be tougher some days than others. Know that when you push through, God has already got it lined up. He's got fresh mercies for you. He's got, an amazing day for you. And so if you can get that in your mindset that if I can just get to the other side of brushing my teeth and washing my face, if I can just get to the other side of putting on some clothes and, making me a cup of coffee or a bottle of water or whatever it is that you need to get your day started and get your body going. Start
Yes.
making those moves. And I'm telling you, as
yeah,
you make one move, God makes another. As you make another move, He makes another. When He moves, you
You
move
move
just
just
like
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 that.
that.
let me
Just like
because I want to read my what I broke down this morning.
that. Okay.
Don't worry about how it will all come together. That's God's job. Put my phone without. Your job is to believe, move, and trust. God doesn't need your strategic planning to orchestrate your breakthrough. He doesn't need your anxiety to make things happen. He needs your obedience and your faith. Stop trying to figure it out. The logistics of your blessings and start focusing, positioning yourself to receive it. God is the master. You're just his daughter.
Mm,
Wow.
wow. You want me to read mine?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Really.
woo-wee. God is just great. From Angela's intro to what you just read and what I read this morning so ties into me being sick for the last couple of days. It says, trust me and don't be afraid. Many things in your life may feel out of control, and your routines are not running smoothly or running the way you want them to. You tend to feel more secure when your life is predictable. Let me lead you to the rock that is higher than you and your circumstances. Take refuge in the shelter of my wings where you are absolutely secure. When you are shaken out of your comfortable routines, you need to grip my hand tightly and look for growth opportunities.
Wow.
Instead of bemoaning the loss of your comfort,
Oh,
accept the challenge of something new. I lead you on from glory to glory, making you fit for my kingdom. Say yes to the ways I work in your life. Trust me and don't be afraid.
okay. So
There's no coincidence in either one of
what
them.
was our word yesterday?
Trust.
Trust.
And what were the four words I told you this morning? For me right now, it's surrender, and in this order: surrender, trust, faith, obedience.
I'm telling you,
Those are four words that just keep coming up for me day after day.
I, God is prepared. Like I need everyone to know this is a set up for where we're going. He
Yes.
sees the becoming, and when you're coming somewhere, don't you have to load up and you have to pack up? You have to get things together. You have to get on the road. So we are just getting things packed together so that when we come, this is what he's saying. When we come this time. It ain't no lean. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. You like breaking through
Bring
every.
it to you. Let's go.
It's a breakthrough. Let's go. Let's
Amen.
go. Let's go. Let's go. It's no more stopping.
Well,
Amen.
is that the alignment of
Mm,
all of us and what we say and what you're reading in the morning and how God is speaking to you. And God speaks to each one of us differently, but the message is the same.
same.
He's
The same.
telling you in the
Trust.
manner that you need to get it, but it's still the same
Amen.
message. Get
Amen.
ready, get prepared. I know the plans I have for you, and it's
Mm,
manifestation time. But you got to be in alignment in order for the manifestations to reach you. It's just like if you are going somewhere, you know how you go somewhere and they tell you get a number so that you can be seen for service
Yeah.
or whatever. And you may say, oh, dang, I forgot. I got to go out to the car and get my such and such or whatever. Well, if you get out of line and your number is called, guess what they're going to do? Call
Yeah.
the person in line.
Yeah.
Their turn, they assumed your position because you stepped out of line. With God, it may come back around to you. It's meant to be yours is yours. But we caused delay. Like the children
Yes.
when they were when they were walking around in the wilderness, that wasn't a 40-year trip. That
Nope.
wasn't a 40-year trip because they were moaning and crying and was talking about what their
Complaining
life
of
was supposed
that
to be, what they used to eat, because we used to eat good in Egypt. And
Yes.
now we out here looking at manna coming every day, and we don't even know what this manna is. But God, we know that you're providing it for us, but I think we walking, my feet hurt, my back hurt. I'm tired of these funky camels and all these things. There's too many people and it's hot out here, and I just want to go back. I know
Yeah.
they had me in slavery, but you know what? At least I knew what to expect when I got up in the morning. They
At
fed us
least I
good.
knew what to expect. And that's what our problem is.
It
We
is.
want, like, I know in
We
the
want to
morning,
know.
this is how my routine's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let's think about when your flight is delayed. Is it normally delayed just because they don't have nothing else to do? It's delayed because the airplane might have broken down. They need to fix something, so they're making sure that it's good before you get before you step your butt on that seat. They have to clear it to make sure everything is operating correctly. The pilot's not going to have any problems. There's a storm. So it's like, no, we can't go now because it's not clear. The coast is not clear. God is telling us, no, you can't go yet. The coast is not clear because you're not clear yet. You're not clear. And when it's clear, the delay, I'll put you back on. I'll put you back in position and it's go time.
But you know what, Sparkling, that's so good because the reality is, as much as we complain, because you know, like I was traveling over the weekend, so in traffic, you know how much as we complain about, oh my God, this traffic, we can't see what
What's ahead?
potentially could
What's
have
ahead?
happened ahead. And the reality is, what if you get up to a certain point and you see a horrific accident and you think, oh my God, had we not been delayed, that could have been us. It's
Yep.
so many things that we have no idea. God doesn't send you a memo after the fact and say, good morning, everybody. I'm so sorry. We went on into it.
Oh,
Good
we
morning,
did.
good morning, good
Good
morning, good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Imagine.
Good
But
morning.
the reality is, God doesn't send you something to say, hey, I just wanted to let you know the reason why I didn't do this is because X, Y, and Z. He
Because
doesn't
he
tell you
don't
that.
have to explain himself.
He does not. He just says all you have to do is trust him. So if there is a delay, we have got to start normalizing saying, God, just like Jesus said, it's not my will, but
It's
your will be done. Whatever that looks like. Maybe it is a delay. Maybe I want to be CEO this next time that it comes up. But you know what? I'm not ready for CEO. I think I am, but CEOs don't show you everything they have to deal with.
No.
People think they want to do your job. I'm telling you, Natashah's job and dealing with people and helping
Every
them to
single
heal,
moment.
you don't know what all she has to deal with. It's people who don't want to pay. It's people who think they know better than she knows. It's people who probably are argumentative or people who
Yes.
don't show
Don't
up.
want to.
She shows
Don't want
up,
to
but
do
they
the
don't show up.
assignment.
People don't want to go do the assignment. They don't want to do the work, but they think she's supposed to miraculously heal them. So
Yes.
you don't see that part. All you see is, man, Natasha know what she talking about, and she's getting recognition. She on that show, and she's over here doing this, and she's whatever. You see the results, but you don't know what it takes. How many times she's irritated, frustrated, overwhelmed, dealing with foolishness, showing up sick like she is today. You don't know what all it takes to be or do what people are being and doing. But you want to be jealous of somebody, or you want to complain about your thing. A lot of times God doesn't give it to you. Probably the majority of the time you don't have it because you're not ready for it.
You are
That's
not
such a
equipped.
that's such a key thing you say when you say you're not ready. I think we're all, and I'm guilty of that. I remembered a friend telling me that a couple years ago, and I think it had to do with relationships at the time. And she goes, "But are you really ready?" And my immediate response was,
Yes.
"Sure."
I was born ready.
I was born ready. And then the opportunity for a relationship came, and I'm like, ooh, I don't think I am ready, because it required me to trust that person.
Yes.
It required me to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
It required me to meet that person where they're at and not change them. These were all the things I had done in previous relationships. So God was like, okay, you think you're ready? Let me give you an opportunity. And it showed me in that opportunity that I really wasn't ready. And thank God, God removed the relationship from my life. That's a good example of when we step into things because we think in the flesh we're ready, but we haven't even gone before God. We haven't even asked God what is required of us
and what we need to be equipped with. We're not even asking what I'm ready. We ready. Okay.
And it's like, for what?
So do you have all the equipment? You know, I want my business to blow up. I want it to blow up right now. I want my 1 million people. Girl, you don't even have the right equipment to handle 1 million people. You only have 50 sacks. So
and that's the reality. We all, because this is the reality, we all see things and we feel like, oh, that's easy. Oh, I can do that. Try going into, just think about, somebody says, okay, we're having a Thanksgiving dinner. And so let's have it at your house this time. You say, girl, yeah, we're having it in my house because, girl, Charlotte been doing it for the last 5 years, girl, and I'm sick and tired of that mac and cheese that she doing and all this and the other because I know I can do better. Well, guess what? You can do better when it's 5 people.
Yes.
You can do better when it's 25.
Facts.
Because you know how to manage a large group of people. You may say that I can do breakfast, baby. I'll make the bomb breakfast for myself. But let me make breakfast for somebody else. Well, they want something different. They don't like their eggs over easy. They want their scrambled with cheese.
Everybody wants something different.
They don't want their bacon crispy. They like theirs a little, you know what I'm saying? So, somebody doesn't like fresh squeezed orange juice, so they may want the juice without the pulp. You don't know what you don't know until you get in a situation and realize, like,
so you step into it.
Girl, it's too much. Don't come visit me this summer, baby. I'll meet you somewhere because what you require coming in my house is too much and I can't deal with that.
Exactly.
So we can be honest with ourselves so that we can understand why God doesn't give us things at the time that we say we want this to be right.
Because he knows we're not ready.
Yes. That's even in relationship. Like I say I want to
in relationship.
I say I want to book somebody. But yesterday I was gone 4 hours just because. Like I went walking, like just all over the place. Not one time did I pick up the phone. Did I do any of that? So if you have responsibility, say, because dating is totally different than a husband.
Yeah.
That's too different. That's totally.
Yeah.
But I said, wait a minute. So your norm is, I'm just gonna go walking. Where you going? I don't know. How far are you gonna walk? I don't know. When you coming back? I don't know. How are you going? I don't know. What you doing there? I don't know. Like I'm in a I don't know mode because I just do what I want to do.
Because you're just doing you. You just say, I'm just doing me.
But I was like, girl, are you really ready for a relationship? Like, are you ready for every single day, every month?
To check in. And this is the reality. You may not say that you have to check in, but when you have somebody else who cares about you, you're gonna say, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm here, or I'm doing this," or you're gonna, share. You say, "Yep, that part, no questions." When you share your life with somebody else, and that's even with your children. Your children want to know. So you've been gone. I ain't heard from you. What's going on? Are you okay? Just like you do them, and they may be like, "Oh my God, yes, I'm fine." But when people care about you, they want to know what's going on. You hear a noise, you're like, "Hey, you okay?" It's things that you do when you're connected with somebody else that you don't have to do when you're by yourself. Same thing when you are an entrepreneur. When you're working a job, you say, child, I'm so sick of asking them to take off and putting in a request and doing all these things and having to be here to
work for myself.
My own boss. I'm gonna do my own thing. When you're by yourself, everything falls on you.
Yes.
So
yes, it does.
You got an HR person that you can call and say, "Hey, such and such ain't doing their job. Terminate them." When you're by yourself, you don't have enough. You can't terminate yourself because you're the only one there doing everything. So you got to make all the calls, all the runs.
Well, and get this. You think that being an entrepreneur, I mean, I was just telling Sparkle this because I've been sick for the last couple of days. When you don't sell or move a product, you don't make money.
Thank you.
When you're sick and you take time off, The money's just not, the money doesn't just keep flowing in. In a regular job, you can apply for sick time if you've got,
You got
PTO.
And
As
then
a
if you
CEO of a
took
company,
sick, you can get a short-term disability.
yeah.
Then you have
Right.
long-term disability.
Yeah.
So you still
Right.
have something coming in.
Right. But when you,
Correct.
yes, Cynthia, you have to make all the decisions. And the reality is, and we're just going back, because this is really not even what we was going to talk about, but look how God does. It is the trusting, like we talked about yesterday. You have to trust him, and you have to know that God, although I know that I'm good and grown, there are things that sometimes I'm not sure of the direction to go in. It's sometimes, and be realistic and go to God and say, God, I need you every step of the way.
Girl.
God, I need you. Don't
I
let me
need
don't let
you.
me, what they say, mismanage the things that I prayed for, because we do pray for things. You pray
Yes.
for people in your life. You pray for jobs or you pray for businesses, but when you're not ready, you mishandle what you prayed for.
Yeah.
So that's when
Come
you
on
got to
now.
ask God, God, let me not mess up this money because you may get a little lump sum and say, oh, sure, we're gonna go take us a trip. Well, you forget that you have other things that you need to do with that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you got months that's coming.
Right. Or
They keep coming.
you're trying to lose weight. Somebody may say, "Oh my God, I just got my birthday. I want to send you some stuff over here." So, girl, try these cookies. I got to be disciplined because I'm trying to lose weight. So I can't.
There's another word, disciplined.
Discipline. You have to be
Discipline.
disciplined. You
That's
have to
in
be focused
everything.
in everything. And the reality is, when we say we ready, are we really ready? If you say, "I want to lose," I need to lose 10 pounds by my birthday. Are you really committed to doing that? Because the first time something comes to and somebody says, let's go out to eat, let's go out for drinks. And you're like, oh my God, it's my favorite place. I want to go out for drinks. But I committed to saying I want to lose 10 pounds. I can't do both.
And how many times have I failed that test? that test right there.
Because we talk big, but the
But
reality
I'm gonna
is,
do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna.
yes, it requires you talking to Sparkle. Tell them when you were in the process of buying your home, it was a process. What you say, I can't go out here and just go out here and buy stuff.
Go. That red bean and rice at home sound real good. I mean, because you in a position, and that's in discipline in every area. You can't go to God and say, God, please bless me with a home. He said, okay, I will bless you with a home, but you have to do some work in this blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a credit score.
He's right. You gotta have your money right.
Yeah.
You
so
gotta do a
let's
lot
look
of
at
things.
some things. Let's break down. Go look at your credit. Oh, my credit is jacked up. I will bless you with a home, but it's some things that you have to do. It's get that credit together. Get the mindset of saving, because God never wants us to lose anything. God never wants to take anything from us. God, that is never God's objective to do it. But what he's saying is that I have to teach you how to manage money. That means if I give you a mortgage, you now have to manage it. You can't go to the leasing office and say, my something is leaking down here. They're gonna be like, there's no leasing office. First of all, you can walk around the whole subdivision and you're not gonna find one.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna find one.
That's your responsibility, man.
They're gonna like, if you go Google it, where is my mortgage lease office? Google gonna be like,
we need more information, baby.
So, and then on top of that, you have an HOA. So instead of a leasing office, you have an HOA that's telling you what you can and you can't do for what you're paying for. They gonna tell you, ma'am, I don't know when you're thinking about cutting your grass, but I need that grass cut now. If not, I'm gonna charge you for not cutting your grass.
There will be a fine.
So it's so much build up responsibilities in every area of life that we're doing all this praying for and all this believing for. But are you ready? Are you getting yourself prepared for what God's ready to open the door for you? So when you swing open the doors, you're like, I got my hope here. I got my faith here. I got my belief here. I got my strength here. I got my trust here. I got this. I can do all things. That you already ready to equip. When a bodybuilder goes do the thing, he don't wait to start getting built until the day of. That's months of preparation that he does before he even go to his match.
Exactly. It's not overnight. And social media has us thinking that everything is so easy. Again, you want to and think that it's just supposed to magically
I
come
love
in.
that. I love when Angela do that. It's just like
You think because social media has us thinking that everything is overnight. They're overnight success. They made $1 million. You think that, oh, if I join this group, we're going to be successful. We're going to do this, but it requires you to do something. It requires you to put in some work. It requires you to have a mindset that is ready to accept and deal with the challenges, deal with the different things.
And Sparkle just talked about that this morning. We could talk about all the things that we want to get ready for, but I'm a big believer that there's power in your words and what you speak into the universe,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
The same way the great I am spoke everything into life. If the I am is within us, that means we need to be able to. We have the capacity and the power to speak truth and to speak life.
Yeah.
But we oftentimes speak a lot of death over ourselves. We don't even realize it, right? We often say, we speak in a place of we're lacking, or we're speaking in a place of we're losing, or we're speaking in a place of we don't have. And I actually have a friend right now who I literally have her holding me accountable for any time I respond to communications with her and I sound pessimistic or I sound negative, that she's to correct me or hold me accountable so I can course correct what I need to say. Because it's not an everyday thing. I really try really hard, but I'm also very human. And so when life comes at you very quickly, sometimes you're like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. And that isn't going to work. And the minute you say it's not going to work, the minute you say, I don't have, the minute you say this isn't enough, where's this coming from? Once you allow that worry to creep in, you allow that doubt to creep in. Well, and then, to me, what I'm finding in my own experience is I am watering down and I am diminishing the power and the love, right? Because God is saying to me that I can do all things, and you're standing over here sort of pouring water on it, or excuse me.
And who likes watered down Kool-Aid? Either give me Kool-Aid or
don't even bother.
Exactly. But it's great, Natasha, that you recognize that, because I think for a lot of people, you don't even recognize, just like how you wake up in the morning, you don't feel good. You're like, oh my God, somebody's like, how you doing, girl? I'm about to die over here.
Yes. No, you're not about to die.
Little bitty things, but we say so many little things that we feel like are inconsequential, when in reality, when you say, oh my God, girl, I'm broke, girl. Can you do that, girl? I'm broke. We just say, oh, girl, it's a way of changing your words, because the Bible even says, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those who like to talk a lot will eat the fruit of what they say. So when you run your mouth all the time, you're putting things out in the atmosphere that will eventually come together to create whatever it is. So if you want to know, I read something, it's been years ago, but they were saying, if you want to know where you're going to be at in a few years, look at what you're saying right now. If you want to look at where you are right now, think about how you were talking 2 or 3 years ago. Your words
it's a difference. It's a difference.
What you have, where you are right now. If you feel like I don't like where I am, then you need to change your words so that it can create the life that you want.
So it will match up. It's like the matching game. Like it don't match up. Can't and can. It's like, I know we have the same letters, but I don't want that T. I mean, can is like, no, you don't spell me with a T. Like,
well, there we are controlling. God says I can, and we want to be better than God and go, I can't. And he's like, okay, he's not going to fight with you.
An example, Natasha. Since I have changed my words, my vocabulary, I have seen a major change in my life. One of my favorite phrases used to be, it is what it is. And what I kept getting was, it is what it is.
I cannot stand that phrase.
Wow.
I mean, that was my thing. It is what it is.
Because people never think about the negative connotation to that. It's saying that it's not going to get any better. It just is.
Yes, it is what it is. So nothing was getting better.
That sounds bad.
Well, what you're saying ultimately is this is as good as it's going to get. And again, if
So
we're saying that
familiar
God,
God that he ain't
that he's done.
Man, you ain't all that. You are not all that, because this is the best you're gonna do. It's right here.
So one of the things that I talk about with clients, it's about our nonverbal. We do so much verbal talking, but we don't realize sometimes the things that we don't do and the things that we don't say has the same quality of impact as the things we say out loud.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Right? So if I am saying that I can't, or if I may not be saying anything at all, but I go in private and I'm worrying and I'm stressing and I'm struggling with anxiety and I'm depressed and all the things. Okay. You're not saying anything out loud to anybody. You're not telling anybody anything, but you don't think God doesn't see your behavior?
Yeah.
You think God doesn't know that you're in a corner somewhere? That you're still in turmoil. You know what I mean? So, and that's, I try to help people understand that a lot of what we deal with in terms of diagnosis, whether it's a clinical diagnosis or a medical diagnosis, it's all related back to mindset. Everything is about a mindset shift. And it needs to, a lot of people that I work with are like, sometimes believe like, we start this journey and somehow there's an endpoint. Transformation is not, there's no endpoint to it. It's something that is ongoing. Your healing is an ongoing process. You are always evolving with time, right? You're not just going to wake up in a matter of 6 months and then all of a sudden everything that you've buried for 20, 30 years is just all of a sudden going to just be magically repaired. And then get upset because you're like, and then you get upset and you're like, I don't understand why this isn't working. And it's like, what do you mean it's not working? If you look at where you were on day 1 of your 6 months to where you are at 6 months, you've made a lot of progress. You've come a long ways, but you're not going to undo. I'm like, I love when Angela says, I am not a magician.
No, God is not.
Like, God uses me as a servant, but I am not a magician. Like, I have clients who don't like to do reflections. A lot of clients don't like to do journaling. And I try to help people understand the purpose of journaling is A, to reflect on the past, whether that's just yesterday, last week, last month, last year, but it's also a way to check in with yourself. Because how often are we checking in with ourselves in a day? If you think about it, we get so busy with our day or with that to-do list of things that we need to do. How often are we pausing to say, okay, how am I feeling today? What am I thinking today? Have I been in a negative mindset today? Am I finding that just by the way that I'm thinking that maybe I'm, exiting God or I'm canceling God out? Yes. And someone says she loves, Delisha says, I love journaling. It really helps me. And listen, and I hated it in the beginning as well.
It's not all sitting right here. It can
go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. Your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, they go somewhere. If you internalize things all the time, then you wonder, why do you have headaches all the time? Why do you constantly not feel well? Why do you see things from a different lens? And let's put it out there because Natashah has said a lot of times that, when people think of addictions, all they think about is drug and alcohol, maybe sex. But you don't think about, the other things that you're addicted to in your addictive behavior. But it's no different than when we have somebody who says, maybe they're anorexic or they, bulimic. When you, in your mind, see yourself as overweight, everybody else may see you as 90 pounds and they're worried. And you see yourself as, oh my God, if I eat this food, it's going to make me gain weight. And I see myself in the mirror as being obese. You can't. I got to keep doing what I'm doing because what I'm looking at doesn't match up to what everybody else is. I don't see what you see. I see
it's mindset.
Yeah, and that's life in general. And you can understand it in that capacity because you're saying, oh my God, how can they not see that they're 90 pounds? They think they're 290. But it's a distortion in what you see in your reality. Well, that is how it is in life in general when you don't take the time to reflect, to journal, because in your mind, you're seeing, I'm not making progress. Oh my God, I'm just so stupid and dumb and I'm never going to be any further than I'm going to be, or my bank account is always on empty, or you see yourself, and like Natashah says, you may not be where you want to be, but you're far from where you used to be.
Yeah,
And if
amen
you
to
can
that. Come on
understand
now.
that concept and just continue to make progress, continue to make step forward,
Permission.
evaluate where you are, and realistically take a notation of, okay, this is where I am today. I wanted to read the Bible in a year. Well, they give you every day. Well, if you miss 16 days in a row, are you going to say, you know what, girl, child, I ain't reading this Bible in a year, girl. I done missed 16 days. Let me quit. No, you go back to, you know what, Lord, I'm let me get more structure. Let me find some
Yeah.
time where I can be committed for real. And now let me do this. So let me, maybe now I got to catch up with these 16. So
Yep.
maybe every day I read one, I'm reading two a day until I catch up to where I'm at
Catch
the
up.
present.
Yes.
It can happen, but you got to course correct. And
Yep.
doing the same behavior that you always do.
It's no different than setting goals. Like you haven't exercised, ate right in 20 years. And now you saying I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 1 month. Okay.
And you expect
That's
them to,
like,
you expect
so
them 10
now,
pounds to look like everybody else who is a 26, 36, 20,
but
whatever,
I'm not
24.
taking diet pills. I'm not drinking all them herbal teas. I don't believe in all that. But you haven't even started any type of process. So why is your goal already how many pounds you're going to lose instead of today this month I'm going to work on how I eat. I'm going to change some eating habits. Next month should be I'm going to start trying to work out a little bit. I'm going to start trying to get myself started. Well, you have to get yourself prepared before you set these big, huge goals that are out of reach. And then you discourage and upset with yourself and just stop everything because you didn't do the proper steps it took to start setting the goal.
Well, we want what we want when we want it, right?
Yeah.
That's the addict mentality. I want what I want and I want it and I want it now.
Mhm.
And we also live in a society that makes things so accessible to us for that quick turnaround.
Mhm.
And that we just somehow believe that, you know, when it comes to mental health, it applies the same. And I'm here to tell you that it's not.
It's not.
When it comes to your mental health, there is no quick fix. You can go to all the pills you want
When
to
it
in the
comes to
world.
us, Natasha, not just when it comes, like we are stubborn, we're hard headed, we want things our way and only our way. Like we got to be real with who, and because you know who you are as a person. You know, if you come to me screaming and hollering at me, telling me that's not gonna get nothing done. Like you can't scream at me, and the reason why I can because I'm not listening. When you screaming at somebody, they're not listening. They're defeat. Let me see what I'm gonna say back to you.
But even in that process, Sparkle, we self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, even though we shut down on certain levels of things because we don't like how it's done, sometimes some truth is being spoken or some things are being done. This is like even like you said with the losing weight. If I don't lose them 10 pounds when I'm supposed to, then I'm gonna say, child, let me go eat this whole thing of ice cream, or let me go eat this whole pizza. Or we self-sabotage because we go to the opposite spectrum. Instead of us saying, you know what, I don't really want to hear what they're talking about, but let me just calm myself down and look at maybe not listen to what they're saying, but let me look at this thing from a different perspective to see what do
What
I
did I
need to
just
do.
say today,
Maybe you
Natasha?
didn't help me, but let me help myself. Instead of being, because what happens is when somebody starts screaming and that's not the language that you like to hear, then you'll be like, okay, I'll show you, but now I can tell you, I'm gonna go and do something totally opposite. And that doesn't help us. That hurts us. It's a self-sabotage that we have down in our spirit that, baby, oh, so you don't want me? Okay, well, I know John do. So I'm gonna go over here with John. Now you self-sabotage the whole thing because you don't need to be over here with John. John does not mean you any good. John just want one thing and that's it. But you want to get back at Larry, so you're gonna go over here with John. Or
Well, I always go back. Sorry, I didn't
no,
want to cut you off. I was going to say it goes back to the basic model of what you're talking about is our inability to regulate our emotions. And the reason why I can't regulate my emotions, A, because I don't have coping skills, and B, I'm in a particular mindset, right? We have to remember we have our conscious mindset, and then we have our subconscious, and then we have our unconscious. In the unconscious, we've got things so buried that we don't even know that they're even there anymore.
They even exist.
Right? Then you have your conscious mindset of where you're thinking about something presently. And then you have the in between. We got a lot of stuff, and I call that the inner voice, right? There's this internal dialogue that's happening. So I have my conscious mind saying one thing, but then I've got the internal dialogue. I've got the inner voice saying something else. The inner voice, what it believes to be true, is what's driving those emotions that Angela's talking about that we're not regulating. So when somebody acts a certain way or says something, and all of a sudden you're in your feels, as they like to say, that's an opportunity to take a step back, take a beat, and be able to recognize, okay, what am I really thinking here? Because the minute that we're in our feels, we immediately project outward. We immediately are looking at the other person to see what it is they said, how they said it, what they did, how they did it, and what's wrong with them. When in reality, the reason why you're in your feels is because of your mindset. And if you actually took some time to reflect and listen to that inner voice, you will find out what your mindset is. You will find out what those limiting beliefs are and what you're really thinking. And that will let you know where you're at and what it is that you need to do.
That's good.
I love the breakdown. When I see that, look, that's why y'all want to show up today, Natasha, because that breakdown says it all.
Yes,
it says it all. It puts it into perspective for people because honestly, we stay in our feelings.
Yeah,
honestly, we always have a spirit of offense. Somebody's always offending you. You don't like how they talk to you. You don't like what they said to you. You don't like what they did to you. You don't like how they came in and asked you about your business. We are always somewhere looking at something and we don't like it, and we're in our feelings, and that causes us to self-destruct versus saying, let me self-correct, let me course correct where I'm not doing right. You don't like for anybody to tell you, well, the breakfast was good, but it could have been a little bit hotter, or it could have been, you could have put a little bit more salt on this.
That is so true.
It was too much.
Especially when you went out of your way to do something. Like I went out of my way to cook you this whole breakfast.
Right. That's the first thing we jump in our feeling like, but you know what? Next time I won't fix you nothing then. How about you fix it for yourself?
And all he said or she said was the one thing was the potatoes was a little salty. What you mean they salty? My food come on.
We didn't jump all the way into a defensive mode.
Yes,
somebody high blood pressure because we didn't sit there and put the whole thing of salt in there. Instead of us saying, you know what, I'm sorry because I just did it to my taste. I should have really just made sure I didn't even ask you about dietary restrictions.
Yes. And that's an adjustment for me. Because that's something I'm learning right now. My taste buds and your taste buds are two different type of taste buds. So I like it spicy. I like it full of flavor. Somebody else don't like it spicy and full of flavor.
If they've grown up all their life with bland food, so they can handle.
So I want to bring up a very good point to that. I hear what you're saying, Sparkle, but here's where I'm at with that as well. If you know yourself, and if I'm cooking a meal, so two things could happen here. I could cook the meal without salt and let you add salt to your choosing. Or I can cook the way I normally cook, and we could do two things. You could not like it, and I could not take that personal. Yeah. Like I cooked it the way that I know to cook it, and you have an option. You could not eat it. And I don't say that in a way to be callous or to be harsh.
But most people take it callous, though, Natasha. When you say, well, if you don't like it, don't eat it. And people have choices, but we tend to be upset when we are given choices that we don't like. We take that personal. Yeah. Exactly.
And my whole thing is like, you don't have to take it personal. It's like you made a dish, and like Sparkle said, you went out of your way to do this for someone and they don't like it. Because let me tell you, I could tell you on countless hands of family members, I will not call names, that didn't like things that I did. And I did it with the best intentions.
Right.
And in the beginning, I used to take it personal, like, I can't do anything right. I'm not good enough. Here comes back those limiting beliefs. I can never make you happy, this, that, and the other. And finally I said, you know what? I did this in good conscience. I did this to the best of my ability. If you don't like it, heard. I will not do that for you moving forward. That's it. And we're done. I'm not even going to get upset. I'm not even going to ask you why.
That's a good way to look at it, because it's just like restaurants. Like, you don't go to the Jamaican restaurant because their food is a little spicy. So you decide to go to Cracker Barrel because you know that's your taste bud. I don't like Cracker Barrel. I love their breakfast, but I don't like their food. But I love their breakfast. But other people love it. That doesn't mean that Cracker Barrel is a terrible restaurant and I don't like it. That's my perspective.
That's your experience. Like, I see a lot of people go online and they'll give bad reviews about something,
Right,
and I'm like,
right,
listen,
right.
it's your experience, and you could write about your experience, but don't taint it for everybody else, because you have no idea. They may go in and have a
Thank you.
completely different experience.
Anything, Natasha,
different.
that is with anything. Somebody sparkle may say, you know what, girl, I was with this guy and he sucked. I can't stand him. Somebody else may get with the man and be like, girl, he's the best thing. He is everything to me. We allow somebody else's thing to tell us whether or not, because say Cynthia Lewis might say, girl, I just went over here and ate such and such a place and it is the bomb. Y'all need to go. You and your husband need to check it out. And we get over there and both of us looking like, I don't even know. Girl, Cynthia called it. This is over here. Now you start thinking, girls, whatever Cynthia tell me, I'm not even tell me about him. You can't tell me about a movie. You can't tell me about anything because I don't trust your judgment.
Look, you did a block. You're blocked.
She's blocked.
But that's in everything. Even movies, like TV, reality TV, movies, everything. We think we ready to tell somebody, girl, it's nasty. That movie is terrible. Do not watch that terrible movie.
It's even worse when you go, oh, but I liked it, and they're like, you did? And now you're being judged. And now you're being judged because you have an opposite opinion or perspective than they do, and you're like, yeah. Like, why wouldn't I?
Realizing it is okay. Let's put the disclaimer out here. It is okay for you to feel how you feel and like what you like.
Okay.
And nobody else has to do that because we're individuals. Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. Just because you may not like seafood doesn't mean the next person, even if they've never tried it. Don't color, like Tabitha Brown says, you may be in a
don't come over here.
Don't messing up somebody else's thing.
Don't mess up their plate.
I'm not a motel girl. I don't want to go to a motel. I want to go to a nice hotel where I can go up the elevator where they get the towels. I want them to come in and everything is nice. Somebody else may say, I'm not paying those prices. You have to do what works for you because you should know you. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. If somebody else likes it, something different.
But that's a good point. You should know you. And that's the problem in our world today. We are not taking the time to get to know ourselves well enough to know what we actually like and what we don't actually like, and not allow outside forces to influence us. But we are still...
Tasha, this is the crazy part though. Somebody that you expect, like, she would never stay at a motel. I'm okay with her doing our planning. She gonna plan us right. She gonna plan it right. Then she's the planner. And she put your butt in a motel. And you sit there like, but she because you had her way up here. You had her the classiest woman, the da-da-da-da-da. Now she booked yourself in a motel because the outer appearance of her, you made it, she can plan everything. I'm not going to plan anything. Sure, you do it all. I bet you'll plan next time because now you over there itching because I'm one of those that get to itching and ain't nothing even going wrong. It just look creepy and I'm starting to itch like, oh.
Just starting to get to know you.
Yes. You have to know, like, you can't put all your hope in somebody because they appear to have it all together. Well, they do, and they still have it all together. They just don't mind standing.
That's one thing that should not change anything. You just know that is their direction they're going in where they're going to stay.
And so coming back to Angela's thing, we're not in alignment because what that just described to me is that person is on top of their world, and maybe setting some up in a motel was the very best that she can do.
Yes.
The person who doesn't want to be in the motel pack your stuff and go find where you want to be, because what it means is you're not in alignment,
Or
right?
suck it
And
up
that's
and
my
say,
word.
you know what,
Or
it's okay because
suck
it's
it
not
up.
it's not the end of the world. I can stay here for a night.
That
and
is
keep it
well, if
moving.
you're willing to sacrifice, depending
And
upon
I'm
the
just gonna
circumstances.
I'm gonna itch all night, and I'm just gonna be like,
I'm gonna go get me some Benadryl in the morning, and it's gonna be okay.
and it's gonna, because
And
what
we have
I'm
to
not
make
gonna do
adjustments.
is make her feel bad, like, because I think it's so wrong to go to that person and say, I can't believe you booked us here. This nasty thing that, like you said, Natasha, they gave their best.
Mm-hmm. And if you wanted better, maybe you should have communicated with the individual to say, hey,
That is the
listen,
key, Natasha.
I know
That
you're
is the key.
planning, just FYI,
But
I
I
don't
don't do motels.
Because we don't communicate. The thing is, we
Correct.
think everybody has
The
osmosis.
kitty.
We just and automatically you know exactly what's going on. The reality is, for a lot of people, we accept what is given to us without speaking up, and
Mhm.
that gives people false illusions. So, say
Well,
for instance, my husband and I, he loves sweet drinks, so he may go to this a place called Seven Brew, and they have like Starbucks or whatever. They have
Uh-huh.
these.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
You know
have
what
a
I'm saying?
coupon right there.
So he goes and gets one. So in the beginning, I was like, oh, yes, I love this because, I can go to Starbucks and get me a sweetened caramel coffee, something or whatever, with the whipped cream and all that. Y'all know I love Coca-Cola, so y'all know it's 100 pounds of sugar in that, right?
So you
It's
can
something
handle it.
about the Seven Brew thing. After I had it a couple of times, I was like, oh my God, it's so sweet. I can't even finish it. And I know he was probably thinking, but you drink these Coca-Cola, you drink 600 pounds of sugar every day. How is this sweet? But it is, you know what I'm saying? So
That is
we see stuff and think that just because you do this, it's just the how it's gonna do that. And that's not always the case.
that
Some
is
people
so
may
true.
love football and basketball, they can't stand hockey and
Yes.
baseball. All sports don't work. All food, you may like crab legs, but you may hate shrimp. And you got to understand, but you got to know you, and you got to be true to who you
Who you
are.
are.
And
Yep.
understand and say that, you know what, if y'all may want coffee, can y'all take me somewhere and let me get me some tea because I don't really drink coffee like
Yeah.
that. I don't
yeah, I
mind
think
us going to the coffee place, but that's not
I
what I'm.
think it, I
And
think
see,
it
I
comes
can go to
down.
Starbucks with you, and I'm just gonna get a large ice water with lemons. Like, I can still go. I'm just not getting coffee.
I think the message overall is, do you know, and the question for the audience is, do you really know yourself? And I think a lot of people may say, oh, yeah, this comes back to chapter 2 in my book. Who am I?
Who
Right?
am I?
Right.
Who am I when the world is not aligned with me? Who am
Mhm.
I when we don't agree on the same things? Who am I when we don't share in the same perspective? Can I stand true in myself? Can I stand strong? Can I still continue to be me, even though we may not see eye to eye? You may not agree with my perspective. And I don't know. I think for some people that's a very challenging question. But I
Yeah.
think if we took time to journal and we took time to reflect and recognize what we need, I always say there's a difference between what you want in life and what you need in life.
Yep.
You spend more time knowing what you need, then Angela, it gets easier to be able to communicate what you need because you're willing to fight for that.
Yeah.
You're willing
Yes.
to advocate for
Yeah.
what you believe is important to you. But if you don't know what's important to you, then
Yes,
you're not going to know what to
Patricia.
fight for.
And
Right?
I love that she said that I'm still
Yes.
learning new things about me every single day.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
think that's so
And that's
important
the
because
key.
understand this. A lot of times we go through life and you get to retirement age. And when it's time to retire, you're like, oh, I can't wait to retire. Well, for some people, they can get to retirement age and they say, you know what, I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to travel. I love getting up when I get up and all that. For other people, they're like,
I'm
I
lost.
don't know what to do with
I don't
myself
know what
right
to
now.
do. I
I
don't
can't
like
stay
this.
here because I
And it
got to.
can cause them health issues. It can start causing a whole lot of other things because it's out of their normal.
Well, mental
Right.
health is on the rise as a result of it. You see a lot of
Exactly.
elderly struggling with mental health, depression, and anxiety as a result of not knowing what to do. They feel very lost.
Yeah.
They
Why?
feel very lost. But it's a
Because
beautiful
people,
time to start learning yourself, though.
it is,
Yes.
but you have to think about this. So now this ties back into addiction and ties back into workaholism.
Uh-huh.
People have spent their lives with their identity wrapped up in their jobs. That when
Yep.
they retire and they're not working anymore, they're like, okay, well, here comes the infamous question of who am I? Who am I if
Yep.
I'm not working? Who am I if I'm not needed by the job and I'm not
Yep.
needed by the boss and I'm not needed by the employees? You see it in
Yep.
divorce. Who am I now if I'm not needed by a
Yeah.
wife or
Yes,
needed by a
when
They
you're
husband?
gonna
not
chop
when
their
you're not
hair
missing
off.
somebody, who are you? Or when your
Yeah.
children leave the house, who am I
Yep.
now that I'm not somebody's mother? What
Right.
am I
Yes.
doing with my life?
Yep.
And that comes into
Yeah.
Natasha, if you can speak a little bit about, that chapter of who, because most people define themselves. When someone says, so tell me about yourself. And we immediately go into the roles that we play in life.
Mm-hmm.
So in chapter 2, I talked about, the infamous question was, who am I? Because I got lost in the identity of being a mother, being a wife, being a good student. I was in college at the time. And that's what I grew up believing, that's who I was the roles that I played in everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
When my divorce occurred and my husband had fought for custody and won, I started losing those roles. He didn't want to be married, so I was not a wife. He won custody of the girls. I was no longer their mother. I mean, I didn't even have access to the girls for a period of time. So the whole getting up in the morning and packing lunches and brushing hair and getting the girls dressed for school, like that all was stripped from me. So it's like, okay, so now I'm not a wife, I'm not a mother. My family didn't, how do I say this gently, is in case that they're listening. They did not approve
They
of
was
my
somewhere
life. So
over there.
they were just not, they were not in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective, I had failed as a daughter, right? So now I've failed as a daughter, I failed as a wife, I failed as a mother, I
Yes.
failed in all these areas of my life. Then who am I if this is who I built myself to be?
Mm-hmm.
I attached myself, my
That is real.
identity in who God created me to be was tied into those
Yep.
responsibilities. And I wholeheartedly believe today, I did my live on Friday of last week talking about my suicide attempt. And what it comes down to is God needed that part of my life to unravel because he wanted me to see that the identity that I have is wrapped in him and not in those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why so many people struggle in this world, because when the divorce happened and I lost the job, lost the husband, lost the kids, lost the relationship with my family, I was at a total loss. And when I began to loss, my mental health got worse, my depression got worse, my anxiety got worse. And I was just like, who am I? What's the point of even living? I mean, it gets that bad. When you find yourself attaching to people, places, and things, when you attach yourself to money, when you attach yourself to jobs, when you attach yourself to food, right? You're creating this bond and this relationship with these things that when you are separated from it, you don't know how to live life without it. That is not what God is calling us for. God is not calling us to depend on those things to such a degree that when you don't have it, that you can't function. That is a problem in our society.
That is a problem.
For the great majority of people, and for those who are listening that probably thinks that could never be me, be careful with what you say, because you don't realize how ingrained you've made yourself in somebody's life or in somebody's program, whether it's work or church, or when you think church hurt, is because a lot of times, if you're not doing what you normally do, if somebody comes in and takes it, now you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to just be a regular person. You go in to sit down and listen because you're so used to doing, going, making things happen. And that's just period. And it requires, again, going back to journaling, going back to, spending time with God and meditation and getting to know yourself and who you are. Because once you build up yourself to be a strong individual, then you can handle when roles change, because those roles don't change you. You may no longer be the CEO of a company. You may no longer be a wife, but that still doesn't change the woman that you are. It doesn't change if you're a man, the husband. This doesn't change the man that you are. You still are in that role. Like you said, you didn't have the girls to brush their hair and do, but you're still their mom.
And you can't change that.
Yes. So the thing about it is seeing yourself in a way that makes you whole, no matter what comes and goes. Correct. Because your wholeness is attached to your relationship. God created you. Amen. So when you see yourself as fearfully and wonderfully made, other things may be what we say accessories. Like, if I take this necklace off, it doesn't change the fact that I'm still a woman,
I'm still a woman.
because
And you're
I don't
still
have this
beautiful.
accessory.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, you know
And
what I'm
you're
saying?
still
It doesn't define who you are. You may
Yeah.
say somebody else may say, oh, well, I don't like that, but look at what Sparkle got on. I got to go get me those. And you get it, and you're like, well, I don't, mine don't look like Sparkle does. It's not supposed to,
It's not.
because you're different. Your face structure is different. The
Everything
look
about you is different.
everything about you is different. And when you can learn to accept who you are as you are, whether something leaves or comes,
Amen.
stays for a little time or a long time, who you are should always remain the same. And when you know and believe and trust in you
Yeah.
and who God created you to be and the God that's inside of you, that supersedes everything else. And it's a journey to get there, though. A lot of people don't realize
It's a journey to get there.
all of your identity is connected to something.
Yeah.
And if that all gets stripped away, just like when you read in the Bible about Job,
Yeah.
the devil was like, well, Job still, will he not curse you and die? If you take away all these things, all this money, all these good things, what will happen?
Yeah.
And Job said, naked I came and naked I went.
Naked I came, naked I go. I think one of the things that I am still working on every single day is not taking everything personal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it like I
Right.
would take it personal. Girl, they're just out of donuts right now. And nobody's trying to attack you over your. I mean,
Look, they don't want to see me win.
Yes.
So
It's that stripping when Angela say something to me that I don't like. Why are you taking it personal where it's hurting your feelings instead of just taking the part that you need? Because I used to, and I'm working on.
She's got much better because you look like
not shutting down when I hear something I don't like.
So there's a great book.
The 4 Agreements, baby.
Love the 4 Agreements. And the first one is don't take things personally.
Don't take it personal. That's what I want to get on.
And he tells us the second one is don't make assumptions. The first one, he says 98. He said 98% of what we believe to be true is a lie. And what he means by that is that 98% of what we believe to be true is based off of somebody else's experience and not your own, which is what we've been talking about this entire show. If you think about our limiting beliefs that we have, it's because of the experiences that we had with other people in our lives when we were younger. Had we not had that experience, we would have not carried that belief system, right? We would have not developed that perception. So in reality, now a lot of people think this is woo-woo because it's not Christian based, but I encourage any Christian believer just to read it. Go in with an open mind and an open heart.
It don't look thick either. Is it a thick book?
It's not a thick book, but it has a lot of depth.
It is. I mean, you got to sit with it. It's like eating meat. Look, it's not like you got to take a little time and let it marinate in your.
So Angela says how my book is like cheesecake, right? You got to take one bite at a time and let my book digest. This book is even deeper than that because it really gives you a lot to really ponder and to really think about. But he raises a really valid point in that chapter. And this chapter helped me in the early stages of my sobriety. And something I wanted to mention, maybe we talk about it tomorrow, is about emotional sobriety and emotional maturity. Because in order to get where Angela is asking us to be, you have to get emotionally mature, right? If we continue to be emotionally reactive every time someone does something and says something, we're never going to get to where God needs us to be because we're going to stay stuck trying to battle things that are just really just not valid or just not necessary in our lives. So that's maybe a topic for another day. But the 4 Agreements would be a really great book. It tells you to, I always forget them, but it's don't take things personally.
The author is Miguel Ruiz, right? Is that
Don Miguel Ruiz is the author. The first, it says, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best.
That's good.
If you could live by those 4 rules.
You can live by those 4.
I'm gonna order that. But how do I know it? Because the more you start researching who you are and to become a better me, it's some things that I have to let it go because I want to be the best version of myself. And taking everything personal is holding you back from becoming the best person you can be.
Well, I'm going to leave our audience with this. This is probably not a good place for us to end this, but if you are taking things personal, what it indicates to us as human beings is how self-centered and self-absorbed we are to believe that everything that goes on in the world somehow has some direct correlation with us.
Right.
When in reality, 98% of what's happening in the world ain't got nothing to do with
It has zero.
Look, they don't even know you.
Yeah. Look, I just threw out mine, and we all have something. Like I just threw, we all have them. And don't assume, like people assume, like, oh, she's saying that she takes stuff personal. I'm gonna be careful what you say to her. No, don't be careful. Like, don't start, because when some people say stuff, people start crawling and like, be careful what I say.
Going around somebody.
Yeah. Well, people make assumptions because they don't have facts, right? And again, coming back to that communication, we're not communicating, and so we're operating from a place like, I'm going to watch your behavior and you're going to watch my behavior, and but we don't even know the facts that are driving that behavior in the first place. And so it comes back to, we need to communicate. We need to learn on how to get to know ourselves. We need to know how to get to know each other. We need to ask questions and don't just assume. Angela kind of said that with relationships. Somebody might say, oh yeah, I was dating that guy and he was bad news. He might have been for you, but we may have a different relationship where we're communicating and he's sharing with me openly because I've created a safe space for him to talk. Like, you just never know. You cannot just judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A lot of times people look at me and they think, oh, you haven't had a bad life. If that's what you want to believe, and
thank you.
And let's keep it moving. I'm not going to sit here and fight that, advocate for that or anything like that, but it's people making assumptions because they don't have the facts. So
we have to get out of here. We trust and believe. We trust and believe. We trust and believe that we're becoming the best version of ourselves. We are getting to the root of it, and we are healing for real this time. We are healing for real. We letting it go. Have a phenomenal day.
Get that book, The 4 Agreements, Don Miguel
Ruiz.
Get that.
I have it on my list. I hope somebody else get it too, because don't leave me out here by myself. No, I'm just playing. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you back on tomorrow.
Bye, guys.